again. The name of the moon god Khonsu means the crossover or traverse related to he who traverses the sky. In the pathway working, he will cross over boundaries to the other side. Uh-oh, now we getting some damn well. We were just briefly talking about Universe A and Universe B. We mentioned that a little guy came to the sister B and mentioned Khonsu. You see, now they're saying that not only is he a night traveler, which is melanin.
Right.
The traveler, melanin never stops moving. It travels through the central nervous system. It never stops moving. That's called the night traveler because it is the hormone of darkness or nighttime hormone of sleep. You know, actually, you know what sleep is? When the melanin is secreted from the pineal gland, that what they call sleep is actually traces of melanin.
Yes.
It's traces of melanin. That's why the number one killer is sleep deprivation. Dehydration and sleep deprivation. Now, listen to this. So they're saying that this Khonsu, when he comes, we'll quote this again now. This is in another book. It just came out. It's called, the book is Judith Page. Like I said, I be on it, goddammit. There ain't motherfuckers gonna bullshit with me with some shit because I said so. You see, I tell them niggas, you need to cite your motherfucking sources. Come on up, run off at the goddamn mouth. This is a book by Judith Page. Judith Page and Jan A. Malik. But Judith Page is called Path Working with the Egyptian Gods. Path Working with the Egyptian God. I think this came out this spring. So it says, I'll go again. The name of the moon god is Khonsu, which means cross over or traverse, related to he who travels through the sky or traverses the sky. In the path working, you will cross over the boundaries to the other side. Now, we talking about a god of the cross, crossing to the other side. You say, well, how can I cross to the other side? Do you have melanin? Does it get night? Is Khonsu here? What they're talking about as we go deeper into this is don't look for a god in the sky or some nigga coming you saying, oh, I'm Khonsu, follow me, you know, and none of that kind of shit. We talk about traces of your melanin, your illuminated form of melanin that is being on lockout of this particular sector for about 400 years. Get where I'm coming from?
Oh, yeah.
You all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Oh.
Khonsu literally means bloodthirsty. Bloodthirsty is melanin. Melanin is called the Dracula particle that secretes at night. You know, the vampire sleeps during the day. Melanin sleeps during the day, wakes up at night. You remember the gargoyle cartoon called the Gargoyles? They would sleep during the day and they would wake up at night. But they were stone in the day, but they were active at night. That's called a philosopher's stone. So melanin is called bloodthirsty. This is the Dracula story. It's called, because the Dracula, the melanin is also called the Dracula particle. The Dracula particle. Nighttime hormone, it comes out and eats the blood. It bathes in the central blood system. It's a bloodthirsty. The melanin is Dracula is nothing but melanin. Comes from the word Dracul, order of the dragon. This is Draconis, or what they call what's that? The constellation of the sky is Alpha Draconis, I think. The dragon. The dragon is the great mother Apep. Is the great mother Apep. The dragon is also a form. Well, it must be 12 o'clock because they already lighting up the guns. The dragon is also the form of dark matter. Dark matter is carbon. Carbon is melanin. Melanin is from the house of Dracula, the Dracula particle, nighttime hormone, goes into the central blood, wakes up at night, goes through, looking in your central blood system, eating the blood, or bathing in the blood, bloodthirsty, vampire lust for blood. We're talking about mythology. You see, we're talking about mythology. You see, that is explaining alchemical components of the body. You all right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay, now, let's go on, because we're going to break this down on how this is going to relate to us. We're right in the middle of, I guess it's 12 o'clock, so.
Oh, yes,
we're right in the middle. Huh?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You can tell. You can tell.
Okay, I survive another year. You see, at the end of this, bloodthirsty dragons. You see, the great Babylonia, Linda. Okay. Khonsu in Hindu is called Soma. Soma is king. Not only is Soma king, the elixir of immortality, but one must have Soma in one to become king. Soma is none other than melanin. Now, Soma, you have the Rig Veda that talks, it's one of the oldest books in the world, like the Book of the Dead. You have your Rig Veda. It's one of your second oldest books in the world. Oldest books in the world. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's very ancient. Comes from the Kushite, Indus Kush. Now, Kush means Ethiopia, but now, the Rig Veda has very little relationship, is written on humans. Most of the Rig Veda is what's going down between the gods and the demons. The gods are called the Devas. The demons are called the Asuras. The demons of the Asuras is a more superior force than the Devas. But it's like that old story. The children took over the parents' household. And they fight for the elixir of immortality called Soma. The entire universe is battling over this damn Soma. In this particular case, this Soma is nothing but melanin. Melanin. The elixir of immortality. And the elixir of immortality is also talking about alchemy. There's a book, came out, another book. You dropped them books on their ass. That's what you got to do. Because these niggas out here take these other niggas face value. You know, these niggas, they'll take these other niggas face value. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
This book here is called The Elixir of Immortality by Robert E. Cox. Robert E. Cox, The Elixir of Immortality. A modern-day alchemist discovery of the Philosopher's Stone. The Philosopher's Stone is the pineal gland.
Yes.
The pineal gland. Now, let's go on. So the Rig Veda, the gods battle for the elixir of immortality, which is Soma. Soma. Well, let's see what the hell Soma is. Let's look up the word Soma, or the god Soma, in Hindu mythology. And let's see what we're dealing with here. Soma is another name for Sandra, or Chandra, the moon god, Somavara. Monday is sacred to him. Well, Monday is sacred to Legba. Now, Legba is also a god of the cross. It's the god of the trickster. But the trickster is a chameleon. It never stops misbehaving. It never stops tricking you. Melanin never stops moving. So you can take Legba as a form of melanin. Well, and his day is Monday. So, Ishu, his day is Monday. Ishu is also Ganesha. The word Ganesha is translated Gana Ishu. And they got tales of Ganesha where he is doing all kind of crazy shit to people. Tricking their ass and stuff. That's melanin. Okay. His symbol is the crescent moon, and he has very aspects to be born at the full moon. He's very auspicious, to be born at the full moon. Such a person such a person, they're talking about anybody who's born at the full moon, such a person will have many friends and will be rich and powerful and have a fine house and good food and ride horses. And they was talking about at this particular time when these people, the horse was venerated as a high performance machine back then. But he's also, when they talk, the priests say, "O moon, O shiny, son of the sun disk, thou who advanced the knowledge among men." Now, the key here is Salma, which we know is melanin, is also a moon god. Now look at this.
Yes.
You heard the story of Helen of Troy? Anybody ever seen the movie Troy?
Yes.
Okay, now Troy, I think it was Helen was kidnapped, I think by Paris, and taken to Troy from some form of Greece or what have you. And she was so beautiful until they had a war for 10 years to fight. And in that war, they also had your boy Achilles. They had the Achilles heel. Get the Brad Pitt movie and see all that. Now, since then, the European is real crafty in trying to craft history. He did it twice. He did it with King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, and tried to make Britain, tried to historically weave the mythology of King Arthur into British history, which we know that King Arthur comes straight out of the Mystery System. The guy Rundle and Clark's book, Egyptian Myth and Symbol, go into the whole science of King Arthur and the Mystery System. Arthur is also called the Dog Star. Also in the Sirius Mystery book. So my point is, they would take parts of history. So now they're trying to say that Troy existed somewhere near Turkey. Anyway, but what they didn't know here is in the Hindu mythology.
Yes.
You have Helen of Troy, stolen by Paris. You have a god called Tara. Same god that the goddess Tara. But this particular goddess Tara is so beautiful to men ejaculate on the ground when they see her. She's later on Parvati, a form of Parvati also, the Shiva's wife. So she's real beautiful. And so Sama, the moon god, steals her and takes her to his kingdom. And they have a war for 10 years to get her back. Now, look, see, here's one that's the story in mythology that predates the Troy story, thousands of years. And you got another one of these people trying to make like the Troy shit existed, because they're always trying to mythologize themselves in history. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same story where Sama, the moon god, melanin, steals Tara, takes her to his kingdom, and all of the gods, Shiva, Vishnu, all of the gods, Krishna, go and fight a war for 10 years to bring her back. To bring her back. You know,
right.
And Sama, Shiva slashes, take a sharp object, and I think it might have been his spear, his trident, and slashes Sama's face in the doggone battle, which is also talking about opening of the mouth, or it's also talking about tapping into the pineal or opening up the third eye. But she is returned back to the Devas, which is Shiva and them, and Sama goes and returns back to the kingdom of they say the lunar race. So what is the lunar race? The lunar race is the melanin race. You see, is the melanin race. That is what the lunar race is. You see, now, God of the lunar race. Now, the moon eclipse at the time of the awakening. Now, this is what the key here is. Now, based on some text that's coming out of Kashmir. Kashmir, Kashmir. They fighting in Kashmir now. That's called Pakistan and Afghanistan. That used to be the land of Shiva. And the land of Shiva, they worship a system of Shiva called Kashmir Shaivism. And Kashmir Shaivism. And the Shiva worshippers there that
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective, man. I'm in the vibe right now. This full moon, man. I feel aligned, bro, because I literally it's 13 videos that I could have possibly chose, and I chose the right one, bro. Ashe to the ancestors. Bobby Hemmett hit it right on the nail, right? Letting you know what this Khonsu energy is about. We are the lunar race. Ashe to the gods and goddesses. What's up, my peoples? What's up, Serpent? What's up, AD? How y'all feeling this evening?
Peace of the trial. What's up with y'all? I'm feeling good, dog. I got my gym session in. I got the Zion next to me. You know, full moon. I got the chat here. I'm ready to turn up. I'm ready to get into this information. Of course, we got our favorite alien on the screen along with Palcaster. So we just here ready to do some decoding, man. Serpent, what's the word, dog?
Oh man, it's a vibe, man. We in for the vibe. We in for that late night joint. I'm just happy to be back with the squad doing this thing on the full scale every day, you know. So let's get into these full moon vibes.
Yes, sir. So AD had posted this earlier. I didn't see it till we was about to go live. And it says, can someone explain to me why Zuck, I'm not calling this man Zuck, all right, first of all.
Big pause.
Like, Zuck is crazy. Pause. Can someone explain to me why Mark Zuckerberg is wearing a pagan pendant tablet of the moon god Khonsu? It symbolizes wielding the power to open a gateway to the underworld, and later became adopted into the Satanic Bible in the Jewish Kabbalah. But I first heard of Khonsu from Bobby Hemmett, them old blog talk radios, remixes with Miss Blue. Shout out to the foundation. And yeah, you can Google or YouTube Tyrone72 Bobby Hemmett, and you should be able to find him. But yeah, like Khonsu, man, on the full moon. Mark Zuckerberg. What's y'all thoughts?
It can't be a coincidence. We don't do coincidences in spirituality. So it's crazy because we were talking about the show Moon Knight, which what Khonsu is in. And it was just introduced on TV less than a couple of years ago. And now Mark Zuckerberg is on TV wearing that pendant. It must mean something. What say you, AD?
Man, see, the other night, we was over here talking about people doing their voodoo. You know what I'm saying? Here you go. My boy got his pendant. He got his amulet. He doing his thing. But it's also just, I feel like it's people also showing you what's the get down, right? Like when we saw Charleston White have an interview, his whole chain gave you all decoding. Another one is Cat Williams. His chain gave you decoding what he was on. So it's like, there's always these signs and these metaphors to let us know, like, there's always another page that we always turn over when it comes to these actors or these monarchs or figures that we see in this matrix. They play a role and they let us know through straight symbolism. Like, you can't tell me that Joe ain't lining shit up for people in a way like, yeah, I'm just interviewing these guys and asking them certain questions.
He's had a busy end of the Western year. Like
Really,
he went from Elon Musk to Donald Trump
to Pascal Beverly Randolph,
aka Terrence Howard, and then he went
Billy
to
Carson
and West Huff, and then Mel Gibson, and now Mark Zuckerberg. That's an interesting list.
So word on the streets is that the Joe Rogan Experience is a present day example of Operation Mockingbird. It is a tool of the state intelligence presented to the masses as the podcast of a down to earth dude just asking some questions. And it can't be, because I ain't seen a regular nigga on Joe Rogan ever since 2006, nigga. Let's be real.
Yeah, like ever since he got that good
Spotify deal.
Spotify money, bro.
After he got that good Spotify money, he ain't had no regular people on there.
He said we going big, baby.
Operation Mockingbird. I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna ask y'all, think about this as I'm reading. What clear example of Operation Mockingbird have you seen in real life? What is Operation Mockingbird, though? Operation Mockingbird is an alleged large-scale program of the United States Central Intelligence System Agency that began in the early years of the Cold War and attempted to manipulate domestic American news media organization for propaganda purposes. Give me any example, fellas. Take your time.
So misinformation, deliberate misinformation.
Propaganda, deliberate propaganda.
Yeah, I would say let's start with the fact that he had Billy Carson on there more than 2 times, and each time is a 3-4 hour episode, and he gave off the impression like he was learning something from Billy that he never knew, and Billy had some real profound information, and he wanted to use his platform to get Billy stuff out of there. And then you fast forward 6 months from that, he brings on somebody who beat Billy Carson in a debate and gives him the platform to talk his stuff as much as he wants to. So the idea is you brought Billy Carson on and it was just a show, but then you brought somebody on right behind him to support anything that he said and to basically hold his feet to the fire. It's the same thing he did with Terrence Howard, aka Pascal Beverly Randolph, when he doubled back, came back around, brought Terrence Howard on, but had him on with a Harvard professor who didn't agree with none of the stuff that he was talking about.
Let's unpack that, because that's the shit that bothered me. I wanna figure out. I'm trying to figure out, like, when a nigga from Harvard starts speaking, is we supposed to just shut the fuck up?
No, but Joe Rogan thinks so.
It just seemed like niggas can yap as much as they want to yap up until a nigga say I'm a government authority on this subject.
Yep, that's a fact.
And then niggas have to stop yapping altogether. So it makes me wonder, what's the purpose of free speech? Like, I watched a documentary about Operation Mockingbird this morning, and it was saying how it will have operatives be editors of magazines and news corporations. So if a nigga come with a story, and if the CIA approve of it, cool. But if the CIA don't approve of it, you're not getting this story out, bucko.
Nope. Nope. Or you could get that shit right to the front page and get ready to release it. And if you get it past certain people who can't check it before it gets out, they will nix 86 that fucking story the very next day. Like, yeah, this was misreported. There was mistakes made. This wasn't supposed to be pushed. Like, yeah.
You want to know what my favorite one is? He is a pseudo-scientist.
Pseudo-scientist. That's their way of saying you think you know shit, but you don't really know nothing.
Peep the word pseudo.
It's sort of like conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
Billy Carson is a pseudo-scientist, and that's another word for saying he's a nigger.
And I feel like but it's some things to learn from Billy Carson. Honestly, when we think about it, like, we can learn how to talk to ourselves outside of ourselves. Like, I feel like that's a powerful thing to do, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we could sell some Egyptian Air Force Ones.
No.
I mean,
Doing that?
them shits was hitting. I'm not gonna put them on my feet, but them shits.
He doing that? That's dirty word. Yo, that's like getting the hype off an athlete or something. Next thing, like, all right, we gotta start selling shirts, shoes. Why you hot right now? Where they gonna buy? Like, yo, that's
yeah. See, what I feel like I do feel like all of these people have something to teach, but it's not the thing that they're teaching, right? So if you want to understand how the facade world works, like the glamour world works, you understand that these people are propped up on purpose just to be torn down on purpose, right? Because Billy Carson was allowed to do his pseudoscience for like 10 years, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody came for Billy Carson for like 10 years. And then all of a sudden, some random dude from Canada got the shit that he don't got.
And thing is, it's like
for that, bro. Like, you're not gonna tell me that Canada got more information and more books and more research facilities than what Billy Carson had access to. It's not like Canada's in a whole nother fucking world. So
I don't think Billy Carson ever was breaking down information and reading.
No, he wasn't.
I think he was a yapper, and he got with Black Magic 363, and Brother Rich turned him up. Let's just call a spade a spade. He introduced him to the black community, to whereas he then it's like any artist, right? Like what's the dude, Post Malone, right? It's like a reverse Post Malone. You get hot with the white people. That's what Billy Carson did, but he got his really affiliation with the black people. Mm-hmm. Post Malone got hot with the black people, but he got solidified through the white community. Mm-hmm. Other boy, Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll is a gangster rapper.
Jelly Roll. I watched this documentary. He official.
Now he a pop star, but white boys have that leeway. Black people think they have that leeway. Mm-mm. They don't, though. You never have that leeway to play both sides. You are a pawn, and niggas only figure it out till it's too late. Mm-hmm. Diddy found out too late. R. Kelly found out too late. Bill Cosby found out too late. Jay-Z finding out too late. And we look at these niggas like, man, they figure something out. They never figure nothing out. These people handpicked by the CIA to promote a message, and once they feel like they can no longer use you or they don't want to use you, they will throw your ass in jail. Diddy is in jail right now, bro. Mm-hmm. Diddy is in jail. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's getting to that point where we in the spooky hours, because everybody that we thought was important, they've made sure to knock them down this year. Everybody.
They made sure to at least give them a scandal or two. Mm-hmm. Disgrace them in the public eye.
I like how you got into that with Billy Carson, because it's like he just appeared out of nowhere and just blew up, even though he's been out for a while.
And he's a student of Zachariah Stitchin. And Zachariah Stitchin is a fraud. Like, Zachariah Stitchin is the author of the Anunnaki. Like, he was the dude that came up with this Anunnaki stuff, right? So, like, the point as to why he did it had more to do with racial undertones than anything, because he's one of those people who did his research and refused to point to the people of Kemet and Kush as melanated people. So his whole ideal was to say that aliens discovered Africa and built Africa up, and then they enslaved humans, and then they passed it on to the humans. Like, that was his whole spiel. And Billy Carson is a student of Zachariah Stitchem.
I feel like the Sumerian is right and exact, but I feel like we fuck up when we don't connect the Sumerian to the Judaism, because we know, like, let's just use our common sense. When was Judaism founded? Around 1800 BCE. Okay? Now, when did Sumeria end? Around 1750. Did y'all just see what I just did?
Yep.
Did you just see what I just did?
Yo,
Did you just see what I just did?
do it again. Do it again. Do it again. I don't think they see it.
Do it again.
When was Judaism founded? Around 1800 BCE. We just using common sense here. We're not being deep.
Mm-hmm.
The Sumerian civilization ended around 1750 BCE. So let's really get into the nitty gritty. What is an angel? What is a demon? It is an Anunnaki, nigga. We think that Sumerians and Jewish people. All right, let's do this. Let's
Are
just use
separate.
common sense.
Yeah, they're not separate.
Sumeria and Israel. Where are they on the map? Not Samaria.
Flame on pill.
Sumeria was located in Mesopotamia, while ancient Israel was located in the Fertile Crescent. Bro, where is the Fertile Crescent? If they say Mesopotamia, I'm a really lose my mind.
The Euphrates. What?
Mesopotamia is located in the northern part of the Fertile Crescent. We talking about the same people, we talking about the same place, and we talking about the same religion. There is no difference between Sumerian. There's no difference between Judaism. The thing about Billy Carson is when you talk about Sumeria, you think you're not talking about Judeo-Christian religion. And you absolutely are, fam.
So, hood. So you telling me you breaking down how they be hitting me with semantics?
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
And that's what the English language is, a bunch of semantics.
Can we pull that word up on the screen real quick too, so people know what that is?
Read that, I do.
I got you. The branch of linguistics and logic concerned with meaning. There are a number of branches and sub-branches of semantics, including formal semantics, which studies the logical aspects of meaning, such as sense, reference, implication, and logical form. Lexual semantics, which studies word meanings and word relations, and conceptual semantics, which studies the cognitive structure of meaning, the meaning of a word, phrase, sentence, or text.
So if I call a ball, and you call it a thing that you throw, we might be talking about the same thing, but you calling it two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Anunnaki is real. Humanity is under slavery. If you can't wrap your mind around that, then you don't understand religion. You don't understand entities and energies and their purpose. It is to enslave you emotionally, mentally, and physically. This shit is happening right now because me and you, we talking right now. But if they wasn't enslaving black babies in the Congo, we would not be having this conversation. It would be impossible.
No, you know what would be impossible? You motherfuckers and all your fucking iPhones and Androids and laptops. Y'all wouldn't have none of that shit if they wasn't slaves.
Congo questions Apple over knowledge of conflict minerals in its supply chain. Apple's tech company knowledge of blood minerals from a conflict zone in the African country that could be smuggled into its supply chains and is demanding. So I'm sure you've seen the videos or like mining this mineral so we can have these cell phones.
That good old cobalt.
That good old cobalt. So it's like we're in this world operating in real-time slavery and nobody is saying nothing.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You think you're supposed to work 80 hours and wait 2 weeks for your paycheck.
Bro, you said something about the mud floods. What are you talking about?
Tartaria.
What made you mention that?
Because we were talking about the wildfires in California, which, you know, we already deemed as not wildfires. We call them purposeful fires. So what I was thinking about was the whole understanding behind Tartaria, and that Americans actually think that we built all of these buildings in this civilization that exists right now. When in reality, even when Europe kicked out their worst of the worst and sent them over here to start another colony, these things were already here. The buildings, the structures, the streets, the roads, all of that shit was already here. These motherfuckers ain't built shit. But they have you thinking that they built this whole civilization up from whenever they started. However, these buildings were already here. So I was thinking about it and connecting it to the wildfires, because they're purposefully setting these fires and burning these towns down. What is the end result? Wash, rinse, repeat, clear everybody out so you can start all over fresh. The mud floods came and everybody that was here was no longer here. So whoever was put here was able to take over, just like with the fires. Because it's kind of weird that all celebrities have lost their homes. Kind of weird.
Yeah, it's muted, but I'm a play it. Let's watch this real quick.
There's still no sound.
No sound?
No sound. Flame on pill.
We got the great fire. Time, but I can't stay respectful. Sometimes I do, but not this time. But I can't stand these types of posts.
Can you hear?
Now we know it was intentional because history repeats itself. If you know anything about the 1800s, which most of y'all don't, because the Rockefellers erased the entire history of the 1800s, Chicago had a great fire. The Great Fire of 1871, where the whole city burnt down because a cow tipped over a candle and burned the whole city down. We got the Great Fire of 1835 in New York. 1851, San Francisco. 1872, Boston. 1889, we got Seattle. 1845, Pittsburgh. 1866, Portland. 1849, St. Louis. Now, I don't mean to be disrespectful. Sometimes I do, but not this time. But I can't stand these types of posts. Now, we know.
Was he writing his act?
Fuck yeah. I mean, I don't see anything disputing that right there. History has a tendency of repeating itself.
That's crazy. They say if you want to know the future, study the history.
I think like this country and these cities, they set these fires to remove the old world as much as they could and remove the ancients out of these cities so they could repopulate these cities. That's what happened. And the facts of it all is like, what was really going on in America before white people came here? That's what I really want to know.
That's the real $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion question. That's the reparations question right there. What was going on before these niggas got off the boat? And I'm not talking about CC, right? I'm not talking about him and his weirdo ass. I'm talking about what was going on when they first decided they wanted to come over here and see what was popping off over here. What was going on?
I'm sure niggas had electricity, cities, paved roads, like, and a lot of times people think like we full of shit. We don't know what we talking about. We pulling shit out of our ass. Hey, Google is your friend. It's a book called One World, One America, Tartarians and Moors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ready to wash those plates?
Let's look at these bullet points.
Mm-hmm.
The Moors are among the oldest indigenous peoples on earth, originating from the Americas. Niggas don't want to ever talk about who we truly are. They want to say we from Africa, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how crazy that shit is, bro. Africa is from here, nigga. How about that?
Exactly.
Everything we know is through the filter of white people, bro. Everything we know. And we imagine that they would never lie to us because they have authority, because they have tenure, because they have research, peer review, research papers, nigga. What if it's all a lie? Human beings don't have the capacity to lie now? That's what we're claiming?
I mean, some of the Sumerian text talks about most of the books ever being written, all being lies. And the fact that it was set up that way in order to get the people looking in one direction while they were doing everything else on the other side, on the back end. I mean, can you imagine if you find out that you're a scholar of nothing?
A scholar of lies.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there is no such thing as Moors. Of course, black people aren't Moors. Of course, black people came here on ships that they never found, and we were meant to be slaves. We were born slaves. No, we are the oldest indigenous peoples on the earth. That's who we are. That's why everything as far as music, jazz, hip hop, R&B, rock and roll comes from America, not Africa. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Not because we commingle with white people. That's not true. Some people did, but some people didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, shit. If you just take a little bit of research and use some time and look into the Grand Canyon, you might find out that Egypt is in America too.
Mm-hmm. And plus, it's all types of books like Black Athena, Stolen Legacy, that helps you get a mindset and understand the concepts around how most of this stuff started with information, burning proof. It's key things.
And of course the flailing viewer will look at this in passing and say, yeah, that seems a little bit too sophisticated. It seems like a lot to do about nothing. Why would these people go through all of this stuff just to fool people? Why would they? And the real question, the real answer to that is why wouldn't they? Because who is going to stop them?
I mean, you got to really start to ask questions, and you need to start asking like real answers, and really feel like, why is the world going to shit? Because the gods are still asleep.
Mm-hmm. That's the curse that Farrakhan talked about that we under. We don't know who the fuck we are.
That's the curse right there.
And that's how they like really get us with this. All like we brought us semantics, and like now think of all these different words: Moors, Tartarians. It's like understanding we don't know who we are is because it's like imagine they just stole the foundational word of what our ancestors created of what we said who we are, or so on. And then it's like all these different lands, different cultures, or repopulations, different migration. It just shows you how we just been under attack, or we had to move, or we've been in certain lands. It's like it makes you think about the slave story. It's like they kind of told you that shit in reverse when you really think about it.
Yeah, I mean, they said we was all broken, destitute, and animals, but I'm trying to figure out how is it that you could put us on every inch of this of every continent? How the fuck did we get everywhere if we are so fucked up? Like, how did we get everywhere? There's not a place on this planet that you could say that blacks have not been, or have not been born, or have not set up shop. Like, there's no place.
Yeah. I don't know, just believing that like
I mean, you got black Scots, bro, not to cut your wisdom, but you got
no, you do. No, I'm just really thinking about just like, yeah, and then we got a diagram of a ship that says like we fitted like so many people in there, and just like it's like, you know, fuck the food, fuck the supplies, fuck the, you know, but hey.
Yeah, fuck the fact that y'all might just have to sleep in each other's feces because y'all all on the bottom of a motherfucking ship.
Because it's like if we're actually trying to make profit and use them, it's like you think we're gonna have them that fucked up, that destroyed like that happen. You know, it's just certain things that we gotta think about.
The math don't math.
I'm looking at Sigma Pi Phi, and I want to get a breakdown of this symbol right here.
Isn't that like, you know, they call that like that beast is like a chimera?
Yeah,
I mean,
so
that reminds me of Yalda Bayoff, but I digress.
nah, I mean, I don't feel like it's no wrong answers. I'm just like, what is that thing that is protected right there?
What is it protecting?
Yeah, because the Sphinx is like a monster, and it's got his hand on a mystery that is protecting. This is the symbol for the Boule. Right? These are the black people that are employed by the white establishment on a daily, monthly, yearly basis to keep black people in America ignorant. Period.
What's the name of that?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I mean, it looks like a vase, like a vase, but with like, is that an astrological wheel on it?
Yeah, like I want to get the details of it, but nobody is like really breaking this point down. Like I'm trying to figure out what this goddamn Sphinx mean on YouTube, bro, or on Google. Like I want a website that's like. So let's just try this, man. The word boule comes from an ancient Greek word, whatever, which means a council of nobles that advised a king. A sphinx is a mythological creature with a body of a lion and the face of a human or animal. So I just don't know what they call this motherfucker, man. Like that's what I really want to know. When you look up Sigma Pi Phi, like you get into the fact of Sigma Pi Phi, also known as the Boule, is an African American professional fraternity. And I swear to God, all you niggas can go to hell. Like all you niggas can go to hell, bro. I swear to God, bro. Cause y'all act like this is what y'all supposed to be doing. Continuously showing up for the establishment and something that y'all know is not real. It's like we are so broken as a people that our goal is not to save our people. Our goal is to align ourselves with the enemy. Go to hell. One day. One day, bro, y'all will be in hell. Trust me.
All right, type in. I was gonna say type in BOULEUTERION.
I went to public school, bro. You gotta
It's Boule with UTERION.
A Bouleuterion was a meeting hall in ancient Greece where council of a democratic city will assemble to discuss and decide on public matters. The word Bouleuterion comes from the word boulain, which means to advise or take counsel.
Boule comes from Bouleuterion. I mean, Bouleuterion from Boule. And that's where they got their symbol for the Sphinx from.
I feel like it's something behind that symbol. They don't really want us to get into. The Sphinx of Naxos, what's that? Let's get into it. The Sphinx of Naxos, also the Sphinx of the Naxians, is a 2.2 meter tall marble statue of a sphinx. Mythical creature with a head of a woman, the chest and wings composed. See, I want to know what the shit mean though, because y'all can show me the Sphinx all day. I feel like they purposely hiding what this goddamn Sphinx mean. Like, what does it symbolize? Like, what's the symbol behind it?
Pull up a picture of Yaldabaoth. No, because Yaldabaoth had the tail. Yeah, he had the lion's head with the snake tail.
It's still a chimera. It's still like these weird entities and energies in the world that's like, what is their purpose? So, like, what was the ancient person thinking when they visualize these entities and energies? Go ahead.
So when I think about chimera, right, and when I think about it in a deep way, it makes me think about DNA, because this is a cross-gene species. So maybe it's like tied to that deep type of focus, you know. Like that's what this came in my head when we like just trying to brainstorm about that. But then I'm trying to get into a little bit of the symbol decoding with the lion, and I was trying to see which one of these cards had lined up to the right or rate, because one of the White Ray cards had a Sphinx in it.
Fortune.
Right, yeah, I just pulled it up, yep. And that made me think about that card. But still, you know, but that Hebrew letter though is Kaf, the palm of the hand, relates to a deep, you know, thing about the hand that separates us from animals is our thumb.
Mhm.
So maybe it's a reference to us, how we're a type of species or DNA. This makes me think of that in that type of aspect.
Man, these niggas cut up. You didn't cut up, did you?
Because this is deep. Because it's like when we think about the ancient mind and how they saw things, it was different from us. You know, the way we see a lion is like, oh yeah, that's just something that they'll probably eat us if we walked up to it. They saw it that same way too, but they saw it in deeper insight.
I'm wondering if they just took the aspects of each symbol and that's why they combined it. So like the aspects of the lion and the aspects of the woman, and you combine those two, and then in front of it is what, a vase, like astrological whatever you want to call that, a cauldron. I don't know what that is, but it looks like a vase with an astrological symbol on it.
Yeah, that's what it's given to me. It seems like it's protecting something, and they don't want to let you know. If I'm gonna just look at this symbol and I'm gonna just like speak it from the heart, right? Like I don't know what it means, bro. I'm gonna just say what it means to me, type shit, because they want to act like everything is a mystery, and therefore, since it's a mystery, can't nobody know what it means. But no, I know what it means. Is these energies and these entities and that thing that they're protecting is white imperialist society. And it needs Black participation in order to thrive. Because if you give these Black people their tools and their fuse, this goes back to Billy Carson, Diddy, Jay-Z, all of these Black elite people that we view as elite is not because they care about Joe Black ass. They would throw you under the bus, in the river, in the field, if it meant them getting an extra couple of dollars. That is an entity and an energy that is not becoming of the original people on the planet. So it is not to say that we're going to recover and take over the country. At the bare minimum, you should at least know who the fuck you are.
Facts.
You claiming you from Africa when Africa is from you.
Facts.
You don't know the difference between Noble Drew Ali and Louis Farrakhan. You think they one and the same. We gotta really listen to Taj Tariq Bey and put him on some form of a pedestal, because he's been trying to tell us about who we are for 20 years. As long as the internet been alive, Taj Tariq Bey been trying to tell us who he is. And we say, man, I don't get into that. I gotta get to work.
He is definitely a Baba. He needs his flowers ASAP.
I love Bobby Hemmett. I love Phil Valentine. But we need to start treating Taj Tariq Bey the same motherfucking way, bro. Yeah. Come on now.
Even telling niggas about their fucking sovereignty for fucking, like you said, 20, 25 years, bro. Probably longer than that.
Ever since the internet been a thing.
Since the internet been a thing. He was the first one to start those long 3-hour, 4-hour lectures, because he laying it all out for you. He break down the entire Black's Law Dictionary, 1 through 5.
No entertainment, no shock value. See, Black people, we got to stop wanting to be entertained when it comes to our goddamn sovereignty. That don't even make fucking sense. We gonna go to the courthouse shucking and jiving, or we gonna put down the paperwork?
Niggas want to mix sovereignty with healing, with their entertainment, and that doesn't make sense, bro.
That right there, Serpent. That's a bar. Niggas want to mix sovereignty with
Mhm.
healing. Can't no white person take from me that I'm the original inhabitant of the earth. That's the get
That's the
down.
biggest download from all of this, right? Like, you're supposed to get to a point where you pissed off, but not pissed off at the outside world, not pissed off at the people around you, not even pissed off at your family. You should be pissed off because this shit belongs to you, and you haven't figured that out yet. Like, none of this shit moves without you. None of it has. None of it ever will. Everything in society is about mimicking everything about your lifestyle, everything about your spirituality, everything about where you come from, that divine essence, that spark. Everywhere you come from, everything in society is about mimicking that. And they're not mimicking it so they can have it. They're mimicking it because you have it. And you just don't know that it belongs to you.
Like, have no clue. Like, completely oblivious to the reality. And remember when this shit was fresh and it was inspiring, and the Matrix suppressed the algorithm.
When Dr. Ben was hitting hard, when Bobby was healthy and up and popping, yeah, things were a lot different. What's the other boy? The boy that taught himself, Dr. John Henry Clark, Frances Cress Welsing, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. I don't want to undermine her greatness. When they were going on Phil Donahue and all of those shows and everything, people just thought it was just some pseudoscience, right? Just brush it off. It's on your daytime TV. But that shit was actual factual from the beginning. From the beginning. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing is who taught me about Baal. She always said this shit was wrapped around Baal worship. Nobody else say that.
It's been a lot of OGs, man, that came and went and been suppressed by the algorithm. Now you niggas want to tell me how you learned from a master off of TikTok, and I don't get the same feeling that I get from the masters.
Yo,
They killed Delbert Blair. They killed Frances Cress Wilson. They killed Dick
Dr.
Gregory. They killed these people. They killed Dr. Sebi.
Dr. Sebi was teaching niggas how to heal themselves. The only man in America that's on record for curing AIDS and cancer and blindness.
Went to court for this shit and walked
With
out.
herbs, my nigga. With herbs. No pharmacy runs. With herbs, my nigga.
shout out to the Flame On Pimp.
That's a fact. Shout out to the Flame On shop. 5 for $55 is available right now. But yeah, I totally agree with you wholeheartedly, big bro. And this is the reason why the people that do this work like us have so much of a stigma between us and the people that don't give a fuck about this work. Because it's like, you all the way over here trying to succeed in a system that was premeditated for you to fail in. And yet your shit is just sitting over here untouched. Right? Untouched. Your shit is sitting over here untouched. And the sad part is, the unfortunate part is, so many of us are going to go our entire existence, our entire lifetime, without even sniffing this information.
And we gonna live and die not knowing who we truly are. And maybe you figure it out when you transition outside of the body.
Maybe. Not
Maybe.
if you go towards the light, though. That's the big part, though, right? Like, you also have to be conscious when you die. You have to learn how to be conscious when you die. That's the only way you don't come back. Some motherfuckers want to come back.
And listen, bro. I feel like that's the purpose of all. That's what I've actually been coming to the realization from, like this whole entire week. Not in some more morbid death type of deal, but honestly, we afraid of that part of life, and we don't understand that that is our freedom papers, because our life is locked
It's
down.
the trap.
Your whole ass gotta study day and night to get that goddamn doctorate degree, and you ain't even gonna find a job to hire you. You've been going to school for 8 years, don't even know where you're gonna make money from.
Yeah, now you gonna
That's
now you
lockdown.
gonna go into the world and they're gonna tell you overqualified. Ain't that some shit? Spent 8 years in school, went hundreds of $1,000s in debt because of all these fucking classes and all these years of fucking schoolwork.
Yeah, and Biden said, "Fuck the forgiveness." He took
Yeah,
that away.
do a job and they're like, yeah, well, I'm sorry, we ain't got nothing for you because you're overqualified. The fuck?
Oh, wait.
Crazy. I'm trying to find the court document for Dr. Sebi when he got off, like he cured somebody from AIDS.
Yeah, he took
like he was found not guilty.
as a matter of fact, I believe one of Trump's people was the one that he went to court with. And he showed up in court in New York. I believe, I want to say it's the late 80s, early 90s. But I believe when he showed up to court, he showed up with like 60 some odd people. And all of them testified for him. And, you know, the DA was upset because, you know, they trying to say, you know, where's your evidence? And he got 60 people to testify. Like, he had so many people to testify, they had to stop letting people in the courtroom to say that he cured them. Like, dead ass. Like, they had to stop letting people in the courtroom because they was like, yeah, well, I had this. I met Dr. Sebi. He put me on the regimen to do this. I no longer have that. Like, it was just too many people. Tell me how this.
And this goes back to Joe Rogan having the white nigga all stars acting like they are the end all be all of knowledge, and Kyrie, you be cussing, so you don't know shit.
Yeah. It's your delivery. It's your talk.
It's your delivery. It's how you talking. Like, bro,
You talking the truth. I just don't like the way it felt when you said it.
like, yeah. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? I would want to say some more crazier shit because I'm mad.
Y'all had me until y'all told me they told me that I'm not from Africa.
I'm mad we even gotta even be on the page where niggas is just, we just don't even know. If I ask you what's your family lineage, niggas was look me in my face and say, man, I don't know. I know my mama, I know my daddy, I know my grandma, grandpa, you know, it go down the line. If I had a due diligent family member, I might have got like to like 1756. Tell me your ancestors in 1200 AD. I didn't have any because I just spawned out of nothingness in slavery.
You just fell off the apple tree.
Because if you tell me what my history, I'm in the 10th century, I was living in goddamn Detroit.
If we
In the 10th century, I was living in New York. Wait,
yeah,
what?
if we just do the math of your lineage, in order for you to be here, shit gotta be old, like super old, like more old than they could tell you in any one of these fucking books. Like old.
Like old. Like niggas don't even know how old they is. That's how old
That's
he
the
is. You ever? That's some crazy shit. Let's think.
That's the shit. Like, cause you got niggas on this earth that can sit back and go into their Akashic records and pull up 5 lifetimes ago. But then you got niggas that don't remember what they did last week, and we need to get that fixed. Like, you know what I'm saying?
We need to figure it out. We need to figure it out because when the nigga hit the Dougie, he gotta be like, and the 1 and the 2 and the 1 and the hold on, swing your hand around, and then okay, am I doing it right, guys?
Out of Dougie, nigga.
Talking about I should listen to you. I will listen to you, West Huff, when you hit the Dougie without counting. Like I want to see you with some swag hitting that shit. If you can't hit the Dougie with swag, I'm not listening to you. Well, that is not standard Harvard approach, PhD equivalent to knowledge. You know all of this knowledge, nigga, but you cannot hip dance.
Nah,
You cannot rock your hips at no
we
level.
need to keep it a buck with these niggas and say what they truly are. They information peddlers. You know, because when we get to the point of talking about knowledge and wisdom, we talking about experience and gnosis. And that's not gnosis.
Listen, bro.
Like that shit ain't gnosis going to a book to refute somebody else who talking about another book. That ain't gnosis.
Well, actually, scholars in the 15th century have said, but maybe they were lying. So
yes,
let's
but
factor
the
that
controversy. When we look at this one text, back when these people was here, but their land was destroyed, so there's really no proof, but they was there.
It was really no proof. We excavated this in 1656, and they kept detailed records. Actually, they were known for keeping detailed records at this particular time. So I'm saying all of this mumbo jumbo. Believe me, nigger, or I will come and tear your motherfucking house down. I'm the big bad. Like, come on, man. You just went into two different degrees. Like, if we gonna yap about history, let's just shut the fuck up. Because y'all are lying, bro. Y'all are lying about the Moors, y'all are lying about the Egyptians, and y'all are lying about the ancient Americans. Because I promise you, we are comfortable talking about everything outside of 1492 and beyond. We don't want to talk about pre-colonial America. You don't want to honor Thunderdog. I don't know who Thunderdog is, but you niggas know who fucking Oshun
That's a
is.
fact.
Disgrace.
That's a fact.
Disgrace.
That is a fact.
How many American gods do you know?
I got something.
When are their days?
I got something. How many niggas know what equivocation is? So I'll just type it in and pull it up on the screen. EQUIVOCATION.
The use of ambiguous language to conceal the truth to avoid committing oneself. Do you know what that makes me think of immediately? African American.
Hence why I actually pull it up. Exactly.
Hey, listen. This is the worst word.
I was
know
gonna say,
another
isn't this
one?
just like a what you call it? Because they combine in 2 words. That's not a.
They're foundational Black Americans.
What the fuck is that?
Listen, nigga. Listen to the definition, bro. A foundational Black American is any. Listen, before I finish this, let me clear my throat. Tariq Nasheed is CI fucking A. I just want to let that out. I just want to put that out there for the family. A foundational Black American is any person classified as Black who can trace their bloodline lineage back to the American system of slavery. Hey, Tariq Nasheed, you know where I'm about to send you. Go to hell.
And don't
go to hell, bro. Don't come back. Just go to hell. Just go to hell. if we are black people, we do not trace our lineage back to slavery at no point. Go to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Cause why? Listen to this. Listen to this part, Ra. This is the part where niggas don't never want to talk about. Why don't we trace our lineage back to the point where we was enslaving white people?
Word. Because motherfuckers act like slavery just started.
It just started when they enslaved us.
Yeah. Like we can go back and talk about the Slavs. Y'all want to talk about the Slavs? Because that's where the word slavery comes from, the Slavics.
I'm thinking of like the Muslim slavers. They would take white girls, man. They love them damn white girls, man. And
Yes,
hey,
they do.
the apple don't far fall from the tree. Listen, hey, they love them some white women. They would fucking
Those are niggas that sneak in the corner to eat some pork, to get some bacon. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, they love to kidnap white women and enslave white women, and nobody ever want to talk about it, because if we talk about it, then we gotta start peeling back all of the layers. So they love you know what they love to do, Ra? They love to put Muslims and Arabs in the same bucket and say, Muslims, look at these Muslims in there, or Arab Muslims.
Well, remember what they did after 9/11? They had niggas thinking Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, all of that shit was the same. Motherfuckers was scared of anybody that just looked half brown. Like, all of that shit was the same to motherfuckers. That shit is like 18 different countries, bro. Like, the fuck? Them niggas don't even get along. It's like
Everybody act like black people is just victims and we wasn't the cause of our own misery. And that's why we continuously create the misery, because if we didn't enslave Europeans, see, nobody is going to tell you this shit, bro. You need to know this shit. If we did not enslave Europeans, we would have not ever been put in slavery. It was a reason that slavery was so harsh for black people, because we were so harsh to them in the first place. But they ended the war when they took away our names.
Yes.
When they started naming you what they wanted to name you, then that's when you lost your history. When you lost your history, you don't even know why they're kicking your ass. Because we were brutal.
Mm-hmm. No, I was just saying, now all bets are off now.
Yeah, now they're going to kick your motherfucking ass, and they're going to kick your children's ass. They coming for your children. They coming for your grandchildren, because they for sure ain't going to know who the fuck they are, because you don't know who you are. Yeah. It get worse. Yeah, it don't get better.
You can't just stumble upon that information and just hand it to your kid in a book bag. Like, nah, like you got to live that shit and know that shit in order to be able to pass that shit down. For a lot of people, you're right, it is too late. It is.
For a lot of people, it's too late.
Because
for a lot of people, it's
the main thing they're gonna say is just, so what, bro? Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the mindset where people at.
No, they're going. You know what they're gonna say? AD, I'm getting to the bag, bro. I don't care about that shit. You don't care when you ain't got nowhere to spend that motherfucking bag. What good is the bag if you ain't got nowhere to spend it? What that look like?
What good is a bag when they lock your ass up for whatever they feel like locking your ass up for, because you ain't got no rights, because they've been playing this game ever since. This is the game that they've been playing. If you don't know who you is, we gonna kick your ass. If you know who yo is, we can't fuck with you. Cause you are my father,
Mhm.
essentially. It's like your kid just waking up and beating your ass one day. It'll never happen. Cause it's a certain respect level, it's a certain understanding. See, if we're going to talk, and people say that these were Arab people, the Barbers were not Arabs. Bro, the Barbers were not Arabs. Let's just ask Google. Were the Berbers Arab? No, the Berbers were not Arab. Can y'all see this shit, bro? Cause niggas will act like niggas just spawned out of slavery. So if the Berbers were not Arab, who are the Berbers? The Berbers are the Moors, and the Moors are the foundational Black Americans, the African Americans, the Negroes, the Indians. These are the Berbers. The Berbers are the Phoenicians, the ancient Egyptians, the modern day quote unquote slaves, right? But the Cushites, this is what the sea peoples. In addition to seizing merchant ships, they engaged in razzias, raids on European coastal towns and villages. Now, y'all got to really think about this, because they're going to say Berbers and Moors and Muslims, and you're going to think Arabs. That's the semantics. That's the 52 fake out. No, these are Black people that raided European coastal towns and villages in Italy, France, Spain, Portugal, on the British Isles, and Iceland. And listen, they took their girls and they enslaved these Europeans incessantly. They made their lives hell. It literally took an act of God for them to get some kind of sense with their shit. And I'm going to tell you who that act of God was. It was John Dee working with the Enochian angels. Because what happened? The Spanish Armada, right, was a fleet of ships sent by King Philip of Spain. All of these particular people, the Spanish Armada is nothing but the Moors, a concept of the Moors that they took out, right? And the reason I say this is because who ruled Spain before this time, quote unquote, before this time? The Moors. But then they say the Moors just magically got defeated. If they did get defeated, they still had Moors running the shit.
It took centuries for that fucking defeat to come into effect.
Exactly. And you think that a nigga, just because they just get on the ship, they know how to operate it?
Bro,
are you serious?
Most people, they don't ask the question how Sicilians got to be Italians.
That's what who really helped Christopher Columbus explore this shit. Really helped get these lands.
Moors was part Moor. They said he.
Listen, they don't want to talk about
Moor mean.
Yeah. He wasn't coming over here for new land. He came over here the first time and they saw it was gold over here. Mansa Musa. Okay. He wanted to come back for the gold. The motherfuckers ain't find the wrong land by accident. No. They came back on purpose because it was gold over here. AKA California Gold Rush. Like, yeah, that was a thing, bro. San Francisco 49ers. That was a thing, bro. They had motherfuckers over here doing exactly what they doing to them young kids picking that cobalt over there in Africa. They had niggas over here doing that same shit.
When you talk about it more, you're talking about a noun and an adjective. The adjective is related to boats. You know why? Because we are the sea people. We are the pirates. This is why they like to say Black people is afraid of water, because they need you to be afraid of water, because that's where we used to kick. Listen. White people hate you.
Yes.
You don't get it. You don't understand. You don't get it, and you won't ever understand because you don't know the history. Because you think Muslims are Arabs.
Mm.
But Berbers and Barbers are Moors, and those people are not Arabs. Did those people just disappear?
Max, where did they go? They just
Where they go? Where the modern day Berbers
And
at?
if it's so weird to understand, how is it that they got Bays and L's in Europe, they got Bays and L's in America, they got Bays and L's in Africa, and they got Bays and L's in Israel? Ask yourself how. Oh, Celine Dream, I like that. The vase the Sphinx is holding seems like time. I like that. I like that. Shout out to Celine for that one.
Facts. They ain't gonna tell you. They ain't gonna tell you. Listen, bro. A razzia is a surprise attack against an enemy settlement. Although primarily sought to obtain booty, historically the objectives of a razzia have been diverse: to capture of slaves, ethnic or religious cleansing, expansion of territory, or the intimidation of the enemy.
Yeah,
You gotta get into the science
bro.
of niggas going crazy.
We were pirates too, my nigga.
Yeah, that's see, and like for my little game freaks out there, man.
Came up with maritime law. My bad. Go ahead.
Check out Assassin's Creed, man. Not the, like they get into that shit. You know what I'm saying? Even when you just get into the Lord Pirates of the Caribbean, like even though that shit a little mystical, you gotta peep the signs that they showing shit, man.
What was that John with Tom Hanks when the pirates were stealing the ship and the mall was like, I'm the captain now.
Yeah, the Somalians.
Yeah.
Real quick.
You even got Cowboys.
Captain Phillips.
He's the undercaptain now.
You know you the truth when you take a whole shit with a knife, my nigga. Like you know you the truth.
Yeah, Tom Hanks ain't know what the fuck to do with them goddamn boys. But I just be thinking about how like that whole way of living have been kind of like taken from us, and to the point where we just out here living in a sense where we just don't have no foundation. And that part to me is just so sad just to like reflect on and think about. Like I'm gonna just really just tap into that level of consciousness, like the Moorish paradigm, and get into it more. Because whenever I deal with it, whenever we had these conversations, it's like these downloads just come, and it's like I know what the truth is. Like I know you can't tell me what the truth ain't when I know what the truth is. So it's just like me just going deeper into this reality because I don't know. I just know that like we'll never be forsaken by our ancestors, but we don't even know who our ancestors is. That's crazy.
Like I know for a fact I'm a Moor. My last name is Maurice. Like I was, my surname comes from Saint Maurice. So like, and he was a Moor. He was a Roman Moor, a Carthaginian. But I got that.
Yeah, man. And it's like
That's
if
real.
your ancestors or like if you can't talk to your recent grandparents about it, because some people can go talk to their grandparents and their family can have these combos and you can get into the studies and deep and find out. But it's like some people can't. Some people got to be especially measured with this shit.
They actually.
I mean, if you don't got the digital files, just meditate.
No, I was gonna say they actually have books with surnames in them that are connected to all of the different tribes that were already here. And I guarantee you, your surname is going to be in one of those books connected to one of those tribes. whether it's Cherokee, Seminole, Lenape, like it's going to be there. Blackfoot, it's going to be there. I found my surname under Cherokee and Lenape. I mean, it's just a little bit of digging, a little bit of elbow grease.
Yeah.
But that's only if you care to know. Some people just don't care to know.
That's a fact.
And if it's like if you care,
That's
if
a
you
fact.
care to know, and you doing the studies and you doing the coding, you got to realize that's something within you that's talking to you. It's like those people that hit rock bottom. All there's left to do is go up now.
Mhm. I like this chat participation. I like the last answer too.
But why the Sphinx repping the Boule though? That's my thing though. Like I get it. I get it. I get the
But think about
symbolism.
it this way, right? Adding that astrological component to it. Think about it this way. What is it, the shit that black people make the most fun of when they hear niggas talk about? Astrology. Right? So if I wanted to hide something in something that I know niggas is not gonna look for, not only will I put it in the book, but I'm gonna put it in an astrology book. These niggas love making fun
That's right.
about Mercury in retrograde, you know, all their little memes and shit, which that shit is super funny, ha ha. But you don't know your motherfucking chart, nigga. You don't even know who the fuck you are. So is that funny? If somebody else knows who the fuck you are and you don't, is that funny? I wonder.
It's like this nigga. It make me think about this Ptolemy, man.
Mm.
You said Ptolemy?
That bitch ass
Yeah, I
nigga
remember.
Tommy, man. Man,
Mhm.
yeah, man. Clay,
I-
bitch ass man. This nigga said, you know, he worked. You know, they work for the CIA, man. They gotta like keep everything copacetic. So they like, man, I know this astrology can wake these niggas up. So we gotta create this fake science in reference to our astrology. So he goes and creates the tropical chart. Right? He creates this Western astrology chart that's like not right and exact. And this is the chart that we use to today. So even if niggas could get saved by astrology, they
Man.
looking at fake charts.
Tell you, because this people tell you that the moon in Cancer.
They talk about it's a full moon in Cancer, man. And swearing by it too. When you look up at the stars right now, the shit is in goddamn Gemini. I mean, it's on the cusp of Cancer, but let's call a spade a spade.
Shout out to the White Rabbit Substack.
Yes, sir. Man, didn't know shit, man. A lot of these people didn't even ever leave Europe. Like Mercator, the person who created the map, he never even left Europe. That's why Europe looks so big. And it ain't even that big. The map make Europe look like it's about a third of the size of Africa, and it ain't even nowhere close. But the map is racist. This shit is crazy. That's some racist ass shit.
You said the map is racist.
Man, it's real. Mercator ass never even left the goddamn Europe.
That's crazy though. I mean, it's all been about
The
confusion.
Mercator map is a map projection that was created by Gerardus Mercator in 1659 and is used for navigation charts. Now, did Mercator leave England? Leave Europe, rather. No. Gerardus Mercator did not leave Europe, but he made a map. Can y'all niggas please make this shit make sense? Because it's not making sense to me, dog. I would show this shit to you. I could do this shit all day and I would be left feeling just more crazier because niggas would just be like, damn, that's crazy. But it's like, no, nigga, we are being lied to. What the fuck? We out here just living and being lied to. I got a problem with that. A real personal problem with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with it, bro. This the year 2025 where everybody get called down to the carpet from now on. Niggas can't stand up in front of us and say whatever y'all want to no more. Not going.
Nah, bro. If you acting like you from Africa, come sit and have a convo.
I don't believe in debates, but I will debate you niggas every day in America.
And it's like they've been talked about how, like, you know, because they always talk about, you know, the first living is in Africa. They've been disproved that.
It doesn't make any sense, bro.
They've been and got to where the oldest civilizations are. You know, what the book of Hosea say? My people fell due to a lack of knowledge.
I think it's Hosea. I want to remember. I want to have it memorized. Hosea 4:6. Hosea 4:6. Man, we could lead the people with this, man, because this is the real shit right here, man. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, and I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of your God, I will also forget your children. Saying God do not play about the knowledge of self shit, bro. It's not something you can escape, man. But
I heard.
I mean, it's just only going to tell me, well, I came from Harvard. What nigga could ever tell me? I stand on that.
That's all he could ever say.
Mm-hmm.
That's why niggas prop up their credentials so much. But here's the thing about you and y'all niggas and y'all credentials. If the credential came from a faulty premise, nigga, that means your credentials ain't shit.
And at the end of the day, it's just another way of saying, like, hey, I did this. Where is my reward and stuff, so I can show other people.
Motherfuckers got a lot of money. You're gonna tell me who my God is, you're gonna tell me what my culture is, you're gonna tell me what my language is and where I come from. The fuck?
And all of the shit you tell me is convenient as fuck. It's all convenient. It's like if I'm talking to my kids and they telling me a story where it just make them seem like the good guy, I already know what it is. Sometimes I don't even probe no more. I'm just like, this nigga lying. It depends if I want to stress myself out or not. I can probe. I just be like, yeah, you too innocent. I already know how you get down and give it up. It's not even your character.
Word.
And it's like, you know, and man, we could react to this tomorrow. It was somebody we got. Remind me, bro. Lord Jamar. It was a white boy on Lord Jamar, and he was just calling him an idiot, stupid. Just, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. But it's like, this is how the authority or so-called authority like to argue. They want to remove all common sense, and they want to just make you crazy for having common sense. Like, somebody is going to ask in the chat, he took a flat map and projected it to a different surface. See, the reality of it is that the Mercator projection makes Europe larger than what it is. Yeah, that's why he needs to leave Europe, to realize that there's no way that I can make Europe this big, and it's not this big.
No way.
Let me go back to the drawing board and come up with a different projection based upon facts, not based upon something that I think or that I feel because I'm a part of Europe. Listen,
Yeah, how the
Take
fuck?
that shit somewhere else, bro.
How the fuck are you going to project outwardly from the place that you're at if you didn't leave the place where the fuck you're at? That doesn't even, bro.
Especially if the place that you're at is the biggest place in the world, and it's not the biggest place in the world. That's delusion, bro.
I know magicians exist because me and my niggas are magicians, but that ain't no magic trick, nigga. That is tomfoolery.
Yeah, that's craziness. Don't rep the Mercator projection, bro. Don't stand on that hill just because you play on that side. Understand that the Mercator projection is by far probably one of the most racist instruments in the public school system because we've all been subject to it on our subconscious mind before we could have a critical thinking skill to say, wait, this don't make sense. Europe is nowhere near the size of Africa. And you can't tell me that there's a reason for it either.
Just like
it's the place on the latitude that makes it appear as, man, go to hell.
Just like
go to hell.
Just like when y'all niggas try to tell us that our little black babies all got ADHD because they can't sit still. And that came from one of the most racist women of all fucking time. Like, that shit is not even a real fucking medical distinction. But they got you niggas thinking you telling your kids they moving around too much. They got ADHD. Like, no.
And if it is, ADHD is a real thing. It don't have nothing to do with little kids sitting down and being fidgety.
It's that sugar.
You know, like at a certain point, kids can't sit still. But I feel like studying ADHD and understanding like what it means, I could see it in people. I could see a person that don't have a sense of the future and they operating and thinking that the future ain't going to be positive. But that's not a kid that's hyperactive. So you might feel like, damn, my kid hyperactive, they got ADHD. But if they think about the positive in the future, like they see the future to be a good thing and they work towards it, 10 times out of 10, they don't have ADHD. They just want to be playing and engaging in their body. But if you got a kid that feels like doom and gloom is around the corner, he might need some attention, some healing. Right. But we got to actually get into the science and the study of this shit versus just labeling our kids ADHD, yo nigga, a narcissist. Every nigga is a narcissist. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, every woman is super masculine.
Like, we got to be real clear about. I mean, let's not diagnose nobody. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Until we know, we can't diagnose nobody.
We could all chalk all of this shit up to a misdiagnosis. If you want to be technical.
What is the DSM? Something that is dealing with the averages of human beings. But are they factoring in your ancestor when they write the DSM?
Great question.
Did they like, well, let's look at Racine's bloodline before we determine what this disease is, because we might say Racine got it, but we haven't factored in his bloodline. So let's do that first. No, they're not doing that. They're just labeling you as something and you accepting it as such. But I guarantee you, if you had a sincere, clear relationship with your ancestors, with your bloodline, you would be able to heal. In Vedic sciences, it's called Shadabisha. Shadabisha is a translation for 100 physicians that's able to heal you at a moment's notice. But this is spiritual conversation. This doesn't have nothing to do with the mundane. You actually going to an actual doctor. There's some girls that say, if you don't got a doctor, I ain't fucking with you. Girl, I got 100 physicians. I got Shadabisha, bitch. What? Shadabisha. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my healing is on a different level. And it's like, oh, you crazy. I didn't make this shit up.
And it's like motherfuckers get misdiagnosed every day.
I think that's all it is misdiagnosis, really. I don't think there's anything that exists that is a proper diagnosis. Nobody curing nobody of shit. And, you know, the objective is not to cure, especially if you're talking about physicians.
Doctors can only treat; they can't heal. Let's be clear.
Not financially responsible enough for them to heal. The niggas said they got a cure
They
for
will lose
cancer,
so
but it's
much
too
money.
expensive. They said there's a cure for it, but it would be too expensive in the long run just for the simple fact that people won't be getting treatment. So what? I thought that was the goal, right? Like, what do you mean people won't get treatment no more?
Nah, the goal is not to heal. The goal is to treat the symptoms while the cause of the symptoms still thrives, because that will keep you right. Get into your Sharabisha, also known as 100 physicians, and get that real healing, get that real medicine. You feel me? I ain't make this shit up. Listen, man, let's get up out of here, man. It's late, and the family need to get their beauty rest, man. What's y'all closing messages before we get up out of here?
This year's is back full effect. We coming hard. Jump on that flameonshot.com. Check out Journey to the Beings on Amazon.com and flameonshot.com, and look to hear from us real frequently and often in the future. Salute. Ashe to the ancestors, known and unknown.
Ashe, Ashe.
What's up, Rob? You saying
Closing messages, AD?
You were saying something?
Just make sure you guys out here studying and taking notes, and make sure you journaling. If you're doing that, hey. Oh, one more thing. The real journey is decoding your dreams and being able to lucid dream. Work and focus towards that. Watch how your life change.
Ashe, man. Just trying to figure out this shit right here, man. Everybody have a good night. Have a happy full moon. Enjoy your evening. Ashe to Consul. Ashe to Bobby Hemmett. Ashe to the Hemmett family. Ashe to Brother Panic. Ashe to the ancestors, known and unknown. We love you. We appreciate you. We are grateful for your healing and your guidance and your knowledge and your wisdom. Ashe to the Moors, those known and unknown, man. We appreciate your sacrifice, even though your ancestors don't understand your sacrifice, or your descendants rather. But we here. The knowledge is not dead. The flame still flickers in these conversations. You can hear it in the conversations. You can feel it in your vessel. And we're going to keep the flame burning for the 2025. Appreciate y'all. And we'll catch y'all in the next video, man. Peace.
Salute.